You know, in life, sometimes we may find ourselves in a place where we feel like we're drowning. And I heard the other day someone say, you know, a lot of drowning comes from when people panic, they feel overwhelmed, and they just work themselves in a frenzy, and they sink rather than rise. So what I would say, if you find yourself and you feel like you're drowning, you're in a relationship where the other person doesn't admire and respect you, you're not equal partners. If you find yourself drowning financially, you're working but you're not getting ahead. If you find yourself in a panic where you're doing okay but you're not fully alive, you know, you're not fully inspired. And I understand life is not always about being inspired, but I remember reading when years I spent walking in Central Park in New York. There's this church right off the east side of Central Park, and there was a plaque on the outside of the church. I'll never forget it. It says something to the effect that the Spirit of God is a human fully alive. And how that speaks to me is when someone is fully engaged and they're inspired and there's that fire in their belly, it's like, you know, you could feel the presence of God. Okay, and I understand in life, when life sucks, it feels like the presence of the devil. Okay, so I understand it's not about religion, but that spoke to me, and I want to share with you. When you're drowning, you certainly don't feel like you're fully alive. Okay, you feel the opposite. You hate life, and I've been there, and I understand it. And we can be there at any moment. The human can be broken at any moment. But focus. Okay, focus, focus, focus. So what I want to share with you is get out of the panic state and focus. First, if you're in a relationship and your partner is not equally reciprocating your energy, your respect, your admiration, every way, in every form, then you need to separate. If you're having a problem, then you need to correct it. I'm not saying you just separate for the sake of separating, but you know, I mean, you could lie to other people, you could lie to your therapist, but you know, if you're not equally yoked, per se, if you're not in equal balance to each other and complementing each other, then you got to separate. I mean, forget about it. You're never going to figure that out, okay? And you can't make a therapist make them understand. You got to, you know, just separate. It's painful. There's no answer. And don't jump into another relationship. I want to tell you, and I've almost got seduced into this myself. If you separate from someone, a relationship, and within the next 6 to 8 months you jump on another one, that's your fault. And it shows you're the problem as well. It takes two to tango. Why? Because you need time after a separation to heal and to redevelop yourself. You don't need to get right back into an emotional shared space. You need to have your own individual space. Okay, so that's from a relationship standpoint, which is the number one cause of stress, not finances. Next is finances. Finances is living below your means is the basic outline for your life. What does that mean? Your income is higher than your expenses. What are the top 3 expenses in life? Having a child, having a house, having a car. So remember the single effect. What I call the single effect is one kid, one house, one car. That's a core if you want those things. If you don't want kids, one house, one car. If you got 2 cars, you got 3 cars, get rid of them, okay? Even if they're paid off. Why? Because you got insurance, you got maintenance, and it's a depreciating asset. If you got more than one house and you're not renting out the other houses and you don't like being a landlord, get rid of the other houses. And obviously, however many kids you have now, you have them, take care of them. But I'm saying, think about that. Same thing with pets. Think about that before you get more. Pets are very expensive. I had one, I love one. So the single effect, one of everything. You don't need 2 of everything. That was one of the big wake-up calls in my life. You don't need a storage unit. A storage unit is a place you pay someone to hold stuff you don't use. This will help you decrease your expenses. Now, increase your income. What does that mean? Do 3 DoorDash deliveries every day. Start there. Clean a house on the side. Do side work. Paint a house. Do something basic to stabilize your income. Now, if you already have a main job and a side job or something like that, then don't worry about it. But if you don't, there's basic things you can do. If you're on disability, and respect to you, then that means you have a lot of time on your hands. Okay, what can you do at that time? Okay, because too much time, idle time, is the devil's playground. And I don't care who you are, it'll come get you. So you got to stay productive and active no matter what your situation. Okay, so to get out of the panic, you need to get out of the unhealthy relationship. You need to get out of the excessive debt and excessive living above your means. And be careful with even living at your means. Why? Because something in life always goes wrong, and when you need to get out of a situation, sometimes you have to take a financial loss. And when you're living below your means, you can endure that financial loss without it affecting you in a very negative way. But when you can't, that's when you're trapped, okay? And this is freedom, okay? And this is what it means, in my opinion, in my perspective. You do what you want. This is general. You do what you want. This is general. That a way, some ways that you can get out of the feeling that you're drowning. These are practical solutions, practical things that you can start. But the key is not just to start, to be consistent. To be consistent. Because it is not really what I've seen in life. It's people will start, but they won't follow through. The follow-up is the most important part of any business. The follow-up email, the follow-up phone call. The consistency. Because it shows you're fully engaged. And you're not just running off an emotional high. And either way, I hope this video helped in a practical way, helped you. Was just not hot air. I don't want to just give hot air. I think this is very good advice to remind for myself. Because remember, the most important advice you got to take sometimes is yourself. And you got to remind yourself, because you'll forget. So I don't speak from a high pedestal. I speak at an equal level. I'm not below anyone, so I don't let anyone abuse me. But I'm not speaking as if you're beneath me. I'm trying to speak to you, you know. And as someone once told me, remember your audience, as if my audience was dumb, destitute, and can never do anything with their life. Well, I won't speak to people like that. Okay? I understand there's some situations where some people may lack a certain ability, and I respect them. But then maybe this channel's not for me. I'm not going to dumb myself down to disrespect people. That's disrespect. And I think highly of the person who said that, and highly of my audience. Even if it doesn't get a lot of views, because I think highly of myself, but not too high of myself where I think I'm above anyone. Either way, I hope this video helped. If it did, click the thumbs up, share it, subscribe. These are all free things. Thank you.